Good day, good day, good day, everyone. Hope you all are doing fantastic today. Thank you for joining me today. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm not playing some background music, some of my favorite tunes there in the back. Um, I know you're probably thinking, what's going on? Isn't it usually Coach Clayton that's on these streams? And yes, you are correct. It is not me, Coach Clayton, right now. It's me, Coach Chadwin. So I'm standing in for Coach Clayton in the meantime. He's gone off to do something else in the meantime, but I'm standing down, holding it down. Now, we're going to be changing these formats and these streams up in the near future, so look out for that as well. Stay tuned to your email. If you're not yet subscribed to us, please drop something in the chat. Let me know. Drop your email address in the chat or drop your name, and one of our admins will connect you and add you onto our list. We send out amazing stuff, and you want to be part of that as well. We also got some awesome developments coming up in the near future and want to be part of that as well. But today is Technical Tuesday. Usually what we do today, or Trade Talks rather, not Technical Tuesday. That just shows you how rusty I am in doing this. This is Trade Talks, usually with Coach Clayton. Today it's with me, Coach Chadwin, holding the fort. And what we're going to do is kind of go over what I looked at on the weekly analysis, the weekly outlook. Now, if you are a student of ours, you would have received that to your email box, the weekly analysis as to what I looked at. And I'm going to cover that again. And we're going to have a good time and see where the market's going to go. Now, what's interesting, some of these things have already made some movement. So now we can look beyond the week would be. It's already hit those points. There's been some volatility in the last 2 days, especially those pairs that I said was kind of going to be short-term trades as well. So if you are here on with me today, please drop your name in the chat. Let me know that you are live with me, so I know who's on with me today. And then I'm going to take you through a couple of things we looked at throughout the week. But before we get there, today's topic is about fear, right? Fear. That's kind of like the crux of today. It's fear of loss, number one. Shout out to Carla for joining me as well. Fear of loss, but also just fear of losing money, right? And one of the things that gets us when we get into trading as a whole, our opinion is that, man, overnight we're just going to make a bunch of money, right? We're going to make a bunch of money, and so that's going to be awesome. Welcome, Rabalan, as well. And of course, if it doesn't happen overnight, we have this disparity between what we thought was going to happen versus what is happening. Shout out Tato. Shout out to Liz as well. And so that becomes difficult because now we have to contend with the idea that what we thought was going to happen didn't happen. And if it didn't happen within the timely manner which we gave ourselves, we're not concerned whether or not it's going to happen at all. So here's what I find. I'm first chatting to you. This won't be long. We'll go through a couple of pairs real quick. And if there's something you want me to look at, you can tell me in the chat as well. I'll look at that as well. So shout out to all 9 of you that are on with me. Please let me know what your names are when you jump on. So one of the things, shout out Deborah. Thanks for joining us, Deborah. And hello to you too. And so one of the things that I find quite early on is that everyone looks for the holy grail. They look for the strategy. They want to make money, and so they want to know what is the secret to making money. And I always tell the students this, and I want to tell everybody on the stream this as well. A good trader is a good money manager first. That's what it is, good money manager. And I find that oftentimes when you start trading and it doesn't pan out for you really quickly, what you tend to do is over leverage. Shout out to Elif, miss you. It's good to see you, Elif. Good to hear from you, rather. And so what happens to you is you're kind of like thinking, okay, you know what? I need to make this target, or I need to make that target in this short space of time. So to me, I think I need to make so much a day, or I need to make so much a day. And what you don't actually do is you don't actually focus on the risk to reward aspect of it. You focus on the dollar value of it, and the dollar value of it then becomes eluding because it doesn't seem like things are going to plan. Now, I've spoken about this a lot in class before, but you could literally flip a coin. Let's say you had a $100,000 account, right? You could flip a coin, and every time it goes on heads, hit buy, and every time it goes on tails, hit sell, regardless of what you're trading. And all you needed to do is make sure that your risk to reward is favorable. In other words, you are risking let's say $1,000 to make $3,000. And you could flip that coin, which will give you a 50% probability of trading either buy or trading either sell. And then there's still the variable of what the actual market is doing, which gives you another either going in a buy or going in a sell situation. But here's the thing. Even then, if that's all you did, it will take you forever to blow an account. But yet, so many of us blow accounts. So it's not a skill issue, it's a risk management issue. And then what comes in eventually is you take a couple of losses, comes in a fear of loss. And so you start to not take the trades that would work, or the trades that are working. And let me know if you guys have done this before. The trades that are working, you cut them short. You don't follow the plan. Maybe you had a take profit in mind, but you don't let it go till there. You stop it before it even gets there. And if that is something that you do as well, then it tells me that you're operating in fear. And that's the one side. A lot of us operate in that fear of loss. And then another group of us operate in fear of missing out. And so when it just looks as though a trade is going our way, we jump in, we get involved, and this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Welcome, Wanda. Good to see you. This becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Hopefully, I see all of you in class tomorrow, right? Give me an 8 in the chat if you're joining me in class tomorrow. The students, of course. And so this becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Shout out to Teresa. Oh, I probably am, Teresa. I probably am. I'm looking at so many shoulders because you know why? I've looked over my own shoulder for a long time. I know this is what we do. Now, since we haven't been given this, you know what? Let me pivot a little bit. Let me show you something. Because I know Coach Clayton every now and then used to give you a little bit of a verse as well, and I want to continue that tradition as well. So let me give you something. And I took this little image from Amazon. Give me a 9 in the chat if you can see it. It says, simply put, and we're going to go to the charts right now soon, right? And we look at what the market has done so far in relation to the weekly outlook. And if you didn't catch the weekly outlook yet, please go ahead, and students, please go ahead and look at it, because I dropped some gems in there this past week. I did it on Sunday. Kaylin put it out for you guys, and I didn't only show you where the chart's going. I taught a little bit in there as well. So if you find that valuable, please let me know. 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, for God hath not given us a spirit of fear. And today's topic is fear, right? But God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Now, of course, I don't want to diminish the scripture of God and only turn it on to trading only, because it's not. Right? Whatever we're speaking here about, this is way more important for your life, but it has some application in you understanding yourself. God has not given us a spirit of fear. So anytime we start operating in fear, we know this is contrary to the nature that God has given us. We know that this shouldn't be there. So then we have to address the fear issue by dealing with the actual core issue. I have a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, is an advocate for never putting a band-aid on a sore. We want to understand, and I'm talking spiritually now, we want to understand the root of the issue. Now, let's talk about the sound mind part, because that is part of what we actually get, right? We get power, we get love, we understand that, but we need, in relation to trading, what we need is a sound mind, right? And of course, in relation to life as a whole as well. So what does that actually mean, Coach? Well, let's get the actual meaning up over here, right? So I did you a favor. I did a quick little search on Google and check what it means. It says the phrase "a sound mind" is an idiom. It means someone capable of rational thought and decision making, and isn't affected by mental illness, drugs, or dementia. We won't worry about that part. But the first part is someone capable of rational thought and decision making. Rational thought and decision making. Now, being rational, right? Being rational is not just something you're just automatically born with. Rationality comes from understanding and what you've been taught and what you've been exposed to over time, right? And whoever's taught you as well. So if you've got a good teacher teaching you good risk management principles and good account management principles as a whole, and you take that to heart and you apply that because you've committed to the understanding that it makes sense, then what you are capable of is sound thinking. And so if you can't think soundly, you really need to ask yourself, is it the strategy or is it my mindset? And this is the hard thing for traders because no one actually wants to do mindset. Right? Most people want to just teach me the strategy, coach. I won't make any mistake. How many of you in the chat right here with me now? How many want to win 90% of the time? Give me a 90 in the chat. 90. You want to win 90% of the time? Come on, give me a 9-0 in the chat if you want to win 90% of the time. Then we can go over the charts real soon. Jenna James, welcome. Jenna James says 90. Deborah says 90. Come on, you guys, the others are lying here. You want to win 90. I know you want to. Wonder says 90 as well. Carlos says 90. Rabalan says 90. Right? Here's the sad truth. Tato says 90 as well. Almost none of us are ever going to win 90% of the time. In fact, if you're winning 90% of the time, you probably will never come to stream like this. Right? If you're winning 90% of the time, you'll never be on. You know why? Because you'll be like in the elite of the elite of the elite traders. You'll probably be contracted by a bank at this point, a large hedge fund to trade for them. So get out of the thinking that all of the trades you take, you got to win. So if all of the trades you're going to take, you're not going to win. And in fact, for the most of us, you're going to lose more trades than you win. And that's not a problem. Because when you trade the way we trade, the threshold to being successful sits at around 25 to 30% of the time. If you can manage that and keep your risk management principles intact, you should be making money. Okay? So let's get out of our mind these unrealistic expectations. Okay, so I hope I've hit some things on the head there for you today. Every now and then we have to deal with the mindset as well. Okay? So here's what I've done on the weekly outlook on Sunday. I looked at a couple of things. I looked at NAS. I looked at Euro USD. I looked at GBP USD. I looked at BTC USD. And I looked at ETH USD. What is ETH USD? Ethereum USD. That was for you, Rabalan. You sent it in the week before. BTC USD as well I looked at. And GBP USD, UR USD, and NAS 100. Now, I can look, while I'm on the stream with you, I can look at something else if you want me to look at it as well. But I'm going to look at that and I'm going to show you. Let me do this. Let me move my screen over to another side here. And I'm kind of going to just show you what I was looking at the other day. Okay. So if you're still enjoying the stream, please put a 7 in the chat with me. Let me know that you're still enjoying it. Shout out to all 12 people that are on with me today. Okay, so these are the things what you're seeing now is an actual video that is given to the students every Sunday. We look at a couple of pairs or a couple of instruments that they trade, and I look at them, or a coach looks at them, and we judge as to where the market's going to go. And kind of give you what is not a signal. It's not a signal, but kind of give you an overview of what you can be expecting based on what we expect, right? So again, just a disclaimer, I'm not telling you what to trade. I'm not telling you that you should trade this. All I'm saying is this is what I'm looking at. And whenever we speak about these things, always assume that I'm speaking about demo accounts, right? We just want to make sure that we cover all legal avenues. So as you can see on the screen at the moment, that was... Let me go back and see where the first one was. Okay. So first we had the US NAS 100, and this is what I was looking at. I saw price bouncing up, dropping down into this green area. That was my low-hanging fruit target, and I'll give you some more clarity over there. Let me show you. That was my low-hanging fruit target, and so we were looking for price to go. Let me get some there. Looking for price to either go up till there, but bounce up a little bit and then drop down into that green area. That was my expectation for that particular day. Okay, now I'm going to show you how that actually panned out in a moment. Let me go to NAS. Okay, so now you can see my screen. Check this out. So my expectation was, when we looked at NAS, and I'll show you it more zoomed in, my expectation was that in the early hours of the week or the beginning of the week, we get a little bounce up and then we drop down. Now, of course, we cannot predict exactly where that move will happen until we actually get in session. This is something that becomes a little bit harder when we actually are predicting days in advance. Okay, so what we saw here is price go up a little bit, drop down, but we've hit the target, the green area, and this was predicted on Sunday evening. Okay, so now I'm going to share this tab again. Let me actually do this. I'm going to move all of them over to one screen. It's going to be a little easier. So if you thought that was cool, let me know in the chat. Please, let's talk. Let's have a good chat together here. Okay, I'm moving this over to the next stream. I'm going to look at all the others as well, and then we'll kind of like quickly just look at what I think is going to happen next in the actual market. Let me move this over. I got too many tabs open here today. Okay, here we go. That's better. You guys are so quiet in the chat. And remember, if you want me to look at anything that you're trading, I can do that as well. So, okay. So let me share the next one. So NAS hit its target. Let's move on. Let's check what else we looked at inside of this actual stream. We then looked at, what is this, pound, dollar as well. And there we go. So we looked at two options, pound, dollar. Earlier the week, we were looking at price rising up into this particular area on the daily and then possibly breaking down or starting its down progression for the rest of the week. So let's go have a look at what pound, dollar actually looks like and what it actually did thus far. So firstly, we were looking at a rise up and then a drop down. Let's see what we've got so far. Look at that. Look at that. Come on, give me something in the chat. We were looking for a rise up. Bang. We've hit it. Now we have two options. Either we fall from here or we fall from above there. That's what I'm looking at. Right? So if you're looking at GBP USD again, since Tato said GBP USD, let's look at it right now since we're on here. Right? We've gone into this gap area over here. I'll be looking tomorrow, not today. I'd be looking for a 4-hour breakdown inside of this area or above this area. If I get a 4-hour breakdown inside of this area or above this area, I'd be looking for downside price action really for the next couple of weeks to possibly get below here. I know that's quite far, but it's all going to be based on what happens inside of there tomorrow. Now, what happens if I'm wrong and price does not give us the 4-hour breakdown? Then I want to see price go above this high, and not just go above, but go above, hold it, break up, and then I'm going to be looking for that to go. That will be relatively an easy trade for that to go if that happens above that particular point. However, if you're asking me what I likely expect to happen first, I think we're going to get more downside on this pair, right? NY session, yes, likely a continuation in NY session on this particular one, but that is NAS hit take profit, and GBP USD rose back up to where we expected it to go on Sunday. Okay, what else? Move back to the next one we looked at was, where are we? Yeah. Okay, we looked at Euro USD and I gave a simple explanation. This is my pair that I trade the most. Tato says, I'm looking for a breakup above the top area and a major drop. Okay, give me the number, Tato, what number you think it's going to go, but I do expect a major drop. I've been trading this for weeks. I gave you guys all the way from the bottom up here till there. And once we came there, I told you we're going to go all the way down to go here. This is a weekly chart, so you've gotten months of price action from me on this one. I still believe that we're going down. In yesterday's class on Monday, I told you guys as well, I think we're going to get further downside. So let's go and have a look at what had happened so far. Is that Euro USD? Yep. Let me go off the daily. So we had two options for Euro USD. Either we were going to come down from this particular area over here, or we were going to get above these two lines that I have drawn on over here in the weekly analysis, and then start to do a progression down. It got a little higher than I expected it, right? But we are on the progression down. I do think there's some more downside in this particular one. So if I'm looking at this, I'm going to say I'm still going to look at this holding intact, looking for more downside. I certainly want to see these lows go. So target 1, 2, and 3. Haven't quite yet hit target 1. We still have yet to do that, but it is early in the week. And I think we might get a situation. Let me go back to that chart. Might get a situation where Tuesday presents itself, which is today, as the high of the week, and the rest of the week progresses down. And then on Friday, it pulls a little bit up. Okay? On Friday, it pulls up. So that's what we're looking at. I will look at, because I know someone asked JPY. I'll look at that one soon. GP USD I covered already. And Euro USD I covered already. What else? Go quickly through the rest. We also looked at BTC USD. Let me show where that is. What's this one? Yeah, I explained that I got that wrong. That was the one I got wrong the previous week. And then I looked at current price action with two options. Yeah, there we go. So there were two options. If we got above that high over here, my expectation was a retrace to hold that particular area and then progress further up. That's really what I wanted. To be honest with you, that's what I wanted. Because I'm a Bitcoin holder myself, and that would have been nice. But I knew better, and I knew that there's a possibility in the short term that we get below these lows. So what I wanted to see there, was price. I wanted to see price bounce up, break down below this low, and then continue down if that was the case. And let's go have a look at what happened over there. And let me show you. Was that the 4 hour? Let's go back to the other chart quickly. On the daily, right? The daily or the 4 hour doesn't really matter there. And share this tab instead. So look what has happened. So far, we've dropped down as expected. If you check the 4 hour, even the 1 hour, in that area, we have gone up a little bit. There we go. We were here on Sunday, right? There's Sunday's date. Gone up a little bit as expected and dropped down to this first area over here. And we've done that, right? We've done that. So we've hit that particular point. And that is target 1. Truth be told, I really don't want crypto to go further down. But I do still see this number, this 56,439 as a possible number before we see a little bit of upside momentum again. And then Ethereum, quite similar. This was for Mr. Abelan as well, quite similar. Let me check Ethereum as well, and then I'll look at the ones that you guys asked. Ethereum, similar expectation there. Was hoping that if we got above this high, that we'll hold that high and go. But did say, should we not go above that high and we break this low, my expectation is a short-term target of this number over here, which is 3,365. We've hit that. Now there's a pullback. Honestly, gun to my head, forced to make a prediction. I think we're going down. I don't want to see it, but I think we're going down to about 3,080 at least. Right? 3,080 at least. So that's the little rise up. Now think about what I drew. I drew for you in session on Sunday or on Sunday night. We'll drop down, then rise up, hold that particular area, and then drop down again. I don't want to see that happen, but nevertheless, that is likely what's going to happen. So real quick, let's look at GBP JPY, and then we'll look at the DXY as well, since we covered all the other ones. So shout out to Jason for joining us as well. What am I looking for? GBP JPY. How can I not have that on here? I must have it. That was one of my all-time favorites. That's where it all started. Oh, it's been choppy recently. Let's go to a higher time frame. We'll take it from there. What? This has been moving. Okay. No wonder the pound dollar has been chopping around, contrary to the actual Euro USD. Okay, so nothing to see here kind of situation, in the sense that we've gone higher, tapped back in, and then started to go higher again. On the monthly, not really anything significant for me to decide what's going to happen there. I will, however, like to see what happens when we get here. Why? That's another significant high that's sitting inside of a gap. I will expect this area, this candle up, and the higher over here. Please take notes if you are trading GBP JPY to be quite sensitive. So that's 208, 274, and that is 216, 174. Okay, but let's look at for intraday trading. Let's go down and see what we got. Okay, still blue sky territory over here. We've traded into that gap and then broken up. So order flow is still bullish, right? And broken up. And so now we're going to see what's happening on the lower time frame, because at the moment there is no counter trend trade. There's absolutely no counter trend trade, because what's happening here is just price moving in one direction. So we can't get an opposing view. Let's go to daily. Now what's starting to happen as we go down to the lower time frames is we're starting to see price fill in all the imbalances and all the gaps, right? So we got another break over here on the daily. Price trades into this. Still no sells here. No sells whatsoever. I would not be taking a sell under any of these conditions. You go to the 4 hour. Again, watch this. We got impulsive. Breaks out of a gap and out of a zone. But now we are seeing some compression happening up here on top. We break higher again. Yeah. The only way I'm looking for sells is I need to see the 4 hour at a minimum. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. The 4 hour at a minimum come below one of these lows, right? And then I'll be looking for price action to trade down, and I'll tell you to where. Let me see quickly. I'll be looking for price action to trade down into this number over here. But in the absence of seeing a 4 hour breakdown, with blue sky territory, you'd probably be better off waiting for structure in session for an actual buy, because anything else, any other sell would be risky, because nothing has changed. Order flow hasn't changed on any time frame yet. The first time frame to change will be a 1 hour, but since there's no higher time frame opposing zone over there, if you're taking notes on this, we want to see a higher time frame, such as a 4-hour break. If we get that 4-hour break, a retracement back in a 50-minute turn, we should see lower pricing all the way till down around about here. But in the absence of a 4-hour break, there's just not a lot of opportunity on JPY at the moment, unfortunately. Right? Let me go and have a look at the DXY. If you guys are still finding value, please let me know in the chat as well. Okay, let's look at the DXY. Let's start off with the monthly. Obviously, we're in currently like a monthly consolidation, but we're starting to look energetic. We had a move below this low. Grab liquidity, we had a break up there. We then had a tap back into this particular area, and we're looking to go higher as well. We've also seemed to hold this particular candle, which is a gap candle. My students know what I'm talking about over there. So monthly wise, I'm looking for us to go and take that, right? From a monthly, that would be a monthly target. So M target. Okay. Let me make that bigger. That's the monthly target. Center right. Okay, let's go weekly because, of course, we want to get into an actual trade based on it. Let's look at the weekly again. Let me give you a tip. Watch structure. See what's happening. Price is breaking up, right? Breaking up. And then also note what price is doing when it gets below a low. It is rejecting a low. Rejecting lows, breaking highs tells me there's more upside price action. So weekly target, I'm looking here. But I'll show you when that actually happens. Right? Okay, so weekly target, we're looking over there. Let me see. We do have a short-term weekly gap over here. Price could trade into. Let me see what the daily is actually saying for more clarity. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so that's at weekly. The daily is broken up over here. We have held this area. So holding demand, breaking supply, breaking again, coming back into this weekly area. I just need to see that weekly again. Daily again. Okay. Over here on the daily, we have price trading back into an SBR and seemingly putting in higher pricing. We then have price coming into a gap. I need to check this 4-hour real quick inside here. And then I'll tell you what tomorrow and the rest of the week likely looks like. Okay, we turned up on a 4-hour. Okay, two things. Here's my opinion on the dollar. Two things can happen from this point. And only two things. We either come into this gap over here. And start to do that. Or we come below this 4-hour low over here. And start to do that. Notice I'm choosing one side and one side only. I'm only looking to go up. To me, order flow has not changed and has not gone the other direction yet. Look at what happened. It came below that low. And what did it do? Rejected that low, broke a high again. Right? So it's telling me, order flow is telling me what it wants to do. Came below that low, rejected that low, broke a high. Right? Came below that low. Large candle down, rejects it, breaks that high. Order flow is up. I'm not going to get fooled out by this little move pulling down here. I'm expecting higher price action. So that, ladies and gentlemen, has been the show for today. Hopefully you guys found some value in it and you hang out with me. I want to encourage you, come to these sessions. I don't mind looking at anything whatever these you trade, we will have a look at it, and I want to encourage you to think long term. Stop thinking about where will price go tomorrow. Start thinking about where will price go for the week, where will price go for the month, because that's the secret sauce. If you can see where the price is going to go for the entire week or go for the entire month, you can trade one-sided. Now, of course, there's more things you need to know. You need to understand when to engage. I always tell students to do this. Where is price? Where is price going? And when will price get there? And if you understand those principles of asking yourself, what's the higher time frame doing? What's my medium time frame doing? And then when can I enter? That gives you a better view of where price is going as a whole. If you're going to take anything from today's session, ask yourself a simple question when you're on the chart: who's getting stopped out, right? Where's price rejecting and where's price breaking? And this is giving you a view of where the market is going overall. So putting these things in practice can help you tremendously. If you'd like to learn more, of course, drop your name in the chat and just say learn more. One of our admins will actually contact you as well if you are listening to me for the first time. But for those of you who hanged out with me today, thank you so much. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Miss Teresa. Thank you, Miss Wanda. Thank you, Tato. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Rabalan. Thank you, everyone. It's a good day. It has been a good day. I hope tomorrow will be a blessed day as well. And I hope that you guys make some money in the markets. It's always awesome hanging out with you guys. For students, I shall see you tomorrow. We'll carry on what we carried on Monday, and I'm going to make it a lot more clear to you. Let's get some wins in. If you want to get some wins in and you're happy to get some wins in, you're excited to get some wins in, give me a 10 in the chat as I exit off of the stream today. You guys be blessed on purpose. And Coach Brian, myself, and Coach Cindy, and the rest of the team always says mindset, multiplication, and management. That's the M3 strategy. It's been Coach Chadwin. You guys be blessed on purpose. Thank you again for hanging out with me today. Have a lovely, lovely day further. And remember, if you want to learn to trade, right? You want to learn to trade, let us know. See you guys. Be blessed.